Welcome. Hold on. Hold on a second. I gotta fix some. You- There we go. That's much better. Meow yourself. Hi, I'm Miss Press. Oh yes, the puddums, the puddums, the puddums. Alrighty. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go over these with just brush. Um, that plan is kiboshed. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna have to go over this all with brush. But that's okay. Having this initial layer on here is get over here. Having that initial layer on there will make it a little bit easier for me, so it's fine. It's fine. So in that case, you're two. You're two. Grab the two. You need to be cleaned. So I hope everybody is having a pleasant day. All I had to do was just turn it off and then back on again, and I would have been able to check my fucking. God damn it. I want to make sure this is clean. Hard to bleed. Love was never meant for me. I think it's better if you keep on. We're gonna start with this because that's the smaller stuff that I need to paint. Yes, I'm doing a 30-minute missions kit, which is essentially a more customizable uh Gunpla-esque model kit from Bandai. They're basically designed that you can put one together start to finish within 30 minutes. And they're also designed to be like for the pieces to be interchangeable and custom, like basically so that the end result is customizable. Hey there, Urban, how are you doing? We're in the end game now, Tinky Winky. Jalapeno Stinky. And right now, I'm basically going over some bits that I had painted yesterday and doing a better job. I need to get better with an airbrush before I get cocky and try to fully airbrush a mini or any other kit. Maybe that's what I'll do for next year's try hard if I end up participating, depending on what the scale is. Um, the primer was already put on. I primed it black. It's just I suck with airbrushing. And I was attempting to put most of the colors down with the airbrush, and yeah, that didn't go as well as I wanted it to, so I have to go over by hand with the colors that I wanted to use and build up the layers. I think I just should have used a thicker medium because the colors that I'm using are inks, and for small stuff, inks push well enough through the airbrush. Just over larger surfaces, they tend to pool a little bit. So it becomes uneven and yeah. But thankfully with inks, They are rather thin, so you can put them on and go like do a couple layers of them, and you're not going to lose anywhere near as much detail as you would say with a normal acrylic. All right, it is what it is. It's not like I'm upset about it. I do most of my painting by hand anyway. And I'm pretty sure I know where my point of failure is, so it's not like I can't rectify that next time. Or at least attempt to. That is how we get better at shit. Hell, it could even be a pressure thing. So, like, that's something that I could investigate. Although, if it's a pressure thing, that will be a lot harder to rectify and still use my airbrush on stream for anything other than priming. Because that means I'd have to use one of my bigger compressors, which those aren't a 1 o'clock in the morning device when you live in an apartment building. Well, exactly. Like, and that's the thing is, I've been putting paint on plastic in one form or another for the better part of 20 years. Okay. I learn new things on a regular basis. One of the reasons why I started doing inks and stuff like that. You know what? I think these I'm just going to do the red by hand. It'll be easier that way. Hey there, Rico. How are you doing? I apologize for the delayed response. I was paying attention to what I was doing. See, I have days like that too, but with me, it's days where like I can't talk. The noises that come out of my mouth hole are garbled. Or I aim to say one thing and I end up saying something else that's a combination of like two different things. Like when you go to say face hole and end up saying mouth hole. That sounds like both an active and an inactive day all at the same time. I can dig it. I have to probably do one more layer on those. I'm gonna have to do the scarlet over with the brush, but that's fine. Already doing the red over with brush, so douche. Let's do this actually on screen, if at all possible. Itchy spot. Okay. Alrighty. Let's get this situated. I really need to figure out that fucking. Ooh, fun. But yeah, as I was saying, I need to get that fucking podcast mixer deck thing figured out. I don't want it to have been a wasted purchase. Put some more paint in there. Okay. Yeah, and that little where the clip is clipped is not going to be seen, so that's going to be fine. I don't need to worry about painting that. That's why it's clipped there. Almost like I have at least a small idea of what I'm doing. Okay, you. We're gonna set you there for a moment. I think the next one I do. Good one. You know, one more. Where are you? Ah, yes, the Alto Black. I think the Alto I may, and this 100% depends on how I feel at the time. That's what you're facing. Um, I may end up seeing about doing that one in oil paints. That could be fun. Like do some like gradients and some like nice blending. Hmm. No, good look. Let's shake up the ink. Shake up the ink. There we go. Two more dudes of that. I know. As far as reds go, I'm a really big fan of this here Naphthol Crimson. Like as far as the ink goes, it's my second favorite red. My favorite red being cadmium red, but that's not a red I can airbrush like ever. Because, heavy metal poisoning is no joke. Yes, it's only a small amount of cadmium in there, but there is still cadmium in there. Layer number two on this one. Because, yeah, if I can help it, I don't go for that cadmium red hue bullshit. Nah, fuck that. Make sure I get the edges at least a little bit. Yeah, honestly, if I want to do like a colored metallic, um usually what I will do, I know it's not like a great like a perfect metallic because like it's essentially a mica powder. Oh, nice. Is I'll use Vallejo metal medium, and then whichever color I want to make metallic. Ooh. I just had a thought, and I am definitely going to have to action that thought at some point. I have dioxazine purple, which is my favorite purple. Hands down, there is no purple better than Diox purple. Um, but I could do like a metallic purple with that, and that would be fucking hot. I mean, yeah, there are lots of different ready-made paints. I just like having the control of being like, I want this exact color as a metallic. Because like if I want a naphthol a metallic naphthol crimson, I won't find that unless I do it myself, most likely. Or dioxazine purple. I mean, and that's a valid way to do it. I don't know. I've had fuck. I have enough hobby paints that I don't use as it is. I don't. I don't know. I can't bring myself to buy a paint that I may only use for one project and then never use again. You know what I mean? Whereas if I need the metallic purple or the metallic red or, the metallic whatever, it's not the price though. That's the thing. Like, it's, I don't need to have multiple racks of paint cluttering the place up. Fuck. half of the paints that I have I got as a fucking Christmas present. That's nice. And like yeah, like I said, like it's just a different way of doing things. It's just for me and my use case, rather than, go out and buy like I said, a metallic purple. I have the stuff that I can just make my own. Granted, it is a mica powder base, so it's not going to be as good as some of the options that are out there. You know what I mean? But I can make it work. Oh yeah, and there's no doubting that. Like, I don't know, my thing is like I can see myself using metallic purple since I started using that as an example. I may as well fucking continue using it as an example. But like I don't see myself, you know, using something like that enough to justify just buying it ready made. Nice. Because, like, say I'm doing like a 30-minute missions kit, I might only use metallics on the joint bits. Fuck, the Alto Black that I have, um, my idea with that is I want to do like the joint bits for like the arms and legs and shoulders as gunmetal blue, and then do like a blue, green, yellow color palette for it. Okay, how are you looking? A little bit more on you. When I take pictures of this guy, probably not going to be up close. um, I have to get the edge of this. Ooh, I could do blue and purple as the primary colors. Hmm. Another option, I was just thinking about this, is I could. Oh, pardon me. Um, for the alto anyway. I could do, like I said, blue and purple. And then as far as like any of the panel lining stuff, I could do that with red, which could look interesting. I was originally thinking of doing this black, but now I'm going to do it red just to get a little bit more red on the torso or on the chassis itself. It is going to be a fairly monochromatic piece. Um, Basically with red, orange, and a little bit of black as the primary colors. Aw, damn it. Let's go get a couple layers done on it. This twin barreled, it'll take your breath away. Our lost souls make two worlds collide. I feel heartbeats rise and passion sparks are fine. I'll start. I swear I'll rip and tear my way to your heart. More on you. Okay. Put you over Yar at the moment. Grab you. Try not to boop the microphone. Before I deal with that, I need to grab some more ink. This also kind of puts a kibosh on one of the plans that I had. Kinda. Which is one of the reasons why I'm doing this for the red. Um, because originally what I was going to do is I was going to varnish, then I was going to do some masking on some of the orange, and add in like red stripes and stuff like that. But yeah, plans change. And you know what? These get put back together. I've tear my way to your heart. I've tear my way to your heart. I've tear my way to your. Hey, you stay clipped, motherfucker. You have one job. One job, stick. Ooh. I should have the that fucking cable here today too, so I can do some troubleshooting. That's what that notification's all about. Yep. 10-foot fucking cable. With a pair of 3.5 millimeter jacks on it. Underneath. Here. Build that up a little bit more. Top. Again, we're going to build this up. Okay. There. Good for my... Ooh, nice. Now, with the color codes, are they like product color codes, or are they like the pigment codes, like fucking like this is PR 170? More out of a curiosity than anything else. Ah, okay. Um, so we're not doing any more red. Yeah. Well, like honestly, the way I look at it, and like no matter if it's something I'm doing or somebody else is doing, at the end of the day, if you're happy with the result, that's all that matters. Well, isn't Char's Zaku? I want to say orange. No, it's closer to like a pink, isn't it? Like I have an old Char's Zaku too, but the colors have changed. So I don't remember what its original plastic color was. So it's like a slightly desaturated red. See, and that's the problem with painting almost everything that you build. When the original colors are like the canon colors, it you know you kind of you so love me some coffee. Fuck, I still need to get myself a stand for that Sinanju. Okay. You're gonna get moved. You're gonna get moved. And we're gonna start working on orange bits. And when I say orange bits, I mean scarlet. Scarlate. I almost got an RG unicorn when I picked up my Sinanju. I was like that close, but it's too Gundam and not Xeon enough. Well, sorry, more accurately, compared to like the Sinanju, it's not dummy thick. I don't know. Okay, so my thing with that is I find that like my issue is I like the round, the more rounded frames, if that makes sense. Whereas the vast majority of Gundam suits are way too boxy for my liking. I'm all about that aesthetics. It's a dangerous place. There, there for your orders. Yeah, out of the four Gunpla builds that I've done, because I don't really count 30-minute missions as Gunpla. Um, like I mean, it is tangentially, but that's a different conversation. Um, three-quarters of them are Xeon suits. Oh, exactly. Though to be fair, two of those suits, like two of those Zaku suits, were my first two fucking Gunpla builds. And they were both given to me. Pardon me. That didn't sit nicely. Ah, damn it. Okay, let's work on the arms. And I am going to have to go through all of these and put a second coat on. I already know it. Yeah, I really like this Scarlet. It's very, very nice. Okay. There's one. I'm not worrying too much about like this face, as most of it is going to be hidden by hand. Oh, Paintwater, welcome in. Raiders, how are you doing? Ravencat, welcome, welcome. Kem, how's things?
Cheeky dick waffle.
How's Paintwater doing today? Confused, but whatever. It is what it is. I don't really feel like sanding it down, so it'll have to stay. I can feel that. Squigs generally have a lot of teeth. I am working on a 30-minute missions kit, which is essentially a Gundam build if you got it from Wish. Um, well, no, it's not quite that bad. It's a more simple kit. They're designed to be built within 30 minutes, start to finish. And I decided I wanted to paint this one. So we are giving it the orange and red treatment. And I'm currently fixing mistakes that I made with my airbrush. Because I suck at airbrushing. Royally. Oh, nice. I still have a bunch of Battletech in my backlog. This will be the third uh mech suit at this scale that I have painted. I kind of like painting on like Gunpla builds just simply because you get a lot of canvas. Like a ridiculous amount of canvas to work with. And also, to be fair, there are probably a lot of Gunpla builders who have never painted a large Gundam. Ooh, nice. You know, I would be right there with you if I was any good at using my airbrush. Also, I've hand painted a Land Raider. Um, the large surfaces on most Gundam Gunpla builds are nothing compared to the sides of a Land Raider. Actually, even Lehman Russ. Oh, don't get me wrong, it is a lot of fucking real estate. But I don't know, at the end of the day, I find with stuff like that, it's all about how you break down the work. Because yeah, it can get daunting as fuck. Actually, the Lord of Skulls that I have, I painted that pretty much completely by hand too. I think I just primed it red with my airbrush. Actually, that might have been Rattlecan that I primed that with. Okay, I need to put some more Scarlet in the cup. But I mean, like, as well, fucking, there is a certain amount of satisfaction in hand painting something as big as a Gundam. Now, for the gun builders who are watching, I do know that they come in different physical sizes because of different scales. I get it. But I said what I said. So, yeah, that fucking tweet that I did, I think probably the only person in here in chat right now that will understand what I'm talking about is Cam. Um, it's at over 10,000 likes. And all it took was me tweeting about how an ex Toronto mayor smoked crack while he was in office. Ooh, nice. Rob Ford, yeah. Honestly, it's kind of hilarious. This way. No worries. Sleep well, monsieur. I appreciate you bringing your community over. And while you weren't in chat for long, it's always a pleasure having you in chat. I will talk to you at some point in the near future. Our paths will cross once again. Fuck, I really need to get that fucking mixer board working. Because that would have been the perfect timing for like a maximum reverb echo effect. You know, if I was ever cast in like a fantasy type show, I know this would never happen because fucking I can barely stream, let alone act as a voice actor. But fucking I would want to be a villain. Just do this one. I think I just did this one. Part of my issue, more than any actual ability, is I don't have a proper like uh like a proper recording setup for doing voice acting. I would have to buy something to isolate and get rid of like background noise and shit like that. Because like the one thing that is an issue, even when it comes to like the podcast and stuff like that, is room tone control. Like I can make up for some of it with like a noise gate, which I have and I put on, like which cuts out a lot of like ambient noise when I'm not talking. But unfortunately, there's stuff that shows up while I am talking, which is lame sauce. One of the things that I used to do, um, or one of the things I used to take part in the Legendary Action Official Discord is they had like a little voice acting thing where they would take a scene from like popular media and like usually like a monologue and like we would recreate that with our own spin. That was actually pretty fucking fun, and it makes you think about like the voice that you're doing and how you're speaking and stuff like that. And it's good practice actually. Um, I wanted to set something like that up for the my podcast's Discord, but unfortunately that idea kind of got poo-pooed. Well, it's less that it got poo-pooed and more that just the other podcast members weren't all that enthused about it. Would you believe that I have never actually watched that show? To be fair, I generally like rewatch a lot of anime. So like it's not like I don't have the time to watch it. It's just fucking comfort shows. I don't know. I'm just a big kid, so I'm like, it's fucking cartoons. I don't know, Japan is actually one of those places that I've wanted to visit, but lack of passport and lack of money kind of stopped me. Well, a lot more lack of money for travel costs. Pardon me. Because plane tickets are fucking expensive. And like, don't get me wrong, fucking, I live in Canada. I know what a not all that strong dollar is like. I think right now we are something like 77 cents on the dollar. Though honestly, even if the yen is doing poorly, if I could swing it, I would move to Japan in a heartbeat. Trying to kill the Pokemans? You know what? We're gonna hold off on the legs because that's a big project or a big fucking prospect, I should say. Banana stand. We should make a command and call it banana hammock and just have it so that if somebody uses it, a disembodied pair of speedos just kind of floats across the screen. This cup that I'm using, it is a 1 ounce portion cup. I usually use these for when I'm working with inks, or I just want to mix up like a small amount of a color or paint. So there. But yeah, I like using these for inks because they keep them self-contained. I don't need to use my wet palette for them. And I'm generally only using a drop or two at a time. So it makes it easier on me. Oh, 100%. Um like the downside, that's crazy. Like I'm not doubting you. I'm just like it's crazy that that happens because like wet that's the one thing that wet palettes are meant to prevent. Um, I'm gonna say probably not enough water. Like when you're using your wet palette, is there like essentially a pool of water? Like yeah, is there like a pool of water around the sponge? Because if not, it's probably too little water. Because you want at least a little bit of standing water in there for the sponge to wick. And then there's also like your environmental factors, like if you have a dehumidifier running, which I know a lot of people use those, that's gonna reduce the working time that you're gonna have for your paints as well, because that's going to be pulling moisture out of the air, which is going to, it's going to affect like your wet palette, your paints, all that fun shit. Ah, come on. Nope, that's just it's ink. So it is super liquidy as it is. But yeah, it's just a couple of drops of ink. Benefit to that is kinda, yeah. Like I'm just building up my layers slowly. Like the honestly, the only difference in my technique that I'm doing right now that I would change if I was blazing, is I would probably add some more medium in order to ramp the transparency. Because like these are already transparent inks. Um, ooh, oh, nice. That's another thing that I need to pick up is I need to look into getting some picking up and playing with some color shift paints. That's actually just like the project that I did for JT's community recently. Um, Here, give me a second, and I will show you the non-black lighted version. Oh, 100%. Yeah, I remember seeing the Raven that you'd painted at the very least that had some of the UV glow in the dark stuff. But oh, pardon me. The only downside to inks is they wick like a motherfucker. So this is the piece that I did. So all of the like yellowy blood stuff, that's all glow in the dark, like UV glow paint that I had made up myself. And like all along this side of her body, I splattered a bunch on her as well. And like there's a bunch splattered on the ground. So like you can't really see the scope of how like I'm glad I have fast enough reflexes to catch that. Um like yeah, like you can't quite see the scope of how insane like the fight was and how like covered in gore she is until you hit it with blacklight. And then that shit glows and it's great. Like I had so much fun painting that piece. And then because like I ended up actually having to do a pivot from my original plan that I had had. So I had to like come up with something new for the base. Yeah, I considered like do you mean like black light and normal light at the same time? Because that's something that I could probably do, which would look cool and make it a lot easier to see. I really need to pick myself up like a UV flashlight or something like that. Yeah, I can imagine. Like I kind of want to get one for doing stuff like that, and also because I want to kind of get back into doing UV resin for stuff. Because like bases and scenes where there's like water and stuff like that look really fucking cool if they're done right. And the easiest way to do that, and in some ways, kind of the cheapest way to do that, is by using UV resin. Because like yeah. Now I'm assuming you buy like pre-made UV paints, or do you mix them yourself? Yeah, Green Stuff World is one of those companies that I try to like shy away from if there are other options. I think they, if I remember correctly, they like straight up plagiarized from some dude. If I remember correctly. So that could be why nobody was buying it. Also, I think unfortunately stuff like UV paints are a very niche product in what is kind of already a niche hobby. Because, like, seriously, how many people are going to buy something that you can't see without a special flashlight or like a special light? Unless like they're storing their stuff in a case that has like a black light, which would be fucking awesome. I was just oh man, that would be so awesome. Have like a display case set up and have like a couple of levels where there's like essentially a hidden black light that just shines inwards and hits any sort of like UV glow. Okay, that tracks. That tracks. Oh yeah, I wanted to check something. And I am gonna actually hit that button there. We're gonna put that in that pocket. Around yourself. We'll go like that. CAD to. So yeah, I just looked it up. Apparently, the Canadian dollar is worth 110 Japanese yen. Okay, we're gonna kill that. Alrighty. So let's take a look. I'm gonna refresh that page there. A little less than actually. It's like 1 yen would be like 9 cents? Or sorry, zero point 0.9. Hold on. 0 divided by. I did that backwards. Yeah, zero point 0.9. No. And I 100% get that. So, yeah, so essentially it's the yen is essentially kind of like at 90 cents on the Canadian dollar. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't I wouldn't be opposed to that. I think that would be rather amusing if everything in Hey, I would be cool to that. Like, I would be 100% cool with that. I think a lot of other people might have issues. Like, the vast majority of everyone else in Canada might have issues with that, but, like, I'm good with it. Yeah, that gets rather ridiculous. And honestly, actually thinking about that, like thinking about it that way and looking at the exchange rate makes a lot of the values when like cuz like I've mentioned before, I watch a lot of anime. Um when like I'm watching an isekai show and they start translating the like the gold value of like whatever they're getting as far as like gold into yen, and it's like astronomical numbers. You know what? Let's find somebody new that is doing a thing. Uh, actually, I will take suggestions as well because a lot of people seem to be doing 3D printing in the makers and crafting category, which is fine, I guess. Oh, nice. Um, is the channel just Spanish, or do they speak English as well? Yeah, that's probably like I have like one person on my following list that is like their channel is just in French, and I don't rate into them because it's just in French, and it's like, well, I can't like have a conversation with you after I rate in, even though I do generally. Actually, you know what? We're gonna go into Urban Tech, bro. They're working on an HG unicorn. That's where we will go. They're doing Gunpla, and they were in hanging out earlier, so it's it's always fun, you know, bipping over to a community member's channel. I do want to thank you all for coming and hanging out today, whether you've been chatting, whether you've been lurking, whether it's your first time in or you are around here regularly. I appreciate each and every one of you. Paintwater, I know you're off into sleepy, sleepy dreamland, but I want to thank you very much for raiding in.